Do you remember Duel Masters? You know, the kids playing cards anime. The one that isn't Yu-Gi-Oh! We sure didn't. We ended up watching a single episode of the dub for research for our previous game haul of the first Japanese GBA game. Never mind how boring it was. The terrible voice direction and sound mixing was near impossible to even tell what was going on. Duel Masters blasted into the West with a Hasbro-produced dub of the anime, Wizards of the Coast releasing the card game, and many tie-in games. They even made a fully original second season of the anime for America called Sacred Lands. But weak sales meant they discontinued the line in 2006 before rebooting it in 2012. To get cancelled again in 2014. Whatever Yu-Gi-Oh! Has that's made it such a household name in America, Duel Masters does not. Despite this, the franchise still has a steady hold in Japan. The manga and anime are both still ongoing, and they've even released games as recent as 2022. But we're not talking about those. Welcome to the Licensed Game Hole. Today in the hole, we've got Licensed GBA Quest as we look at 3 Japanese Duel Masters games. We already played the first one, so let's clean up the remainder. All 3 of these games were released in 2004, developed by Amble and published by Atlas. Strangely, there were 3 other Duel Masters games released in Western countries in 2004, and they're not the same games. These games have remained untranslated and were not used as the basis for the Western games. I wonder what made it cheaper to make whole new games instead of translating these. As these games are untranslated and we don't speak Japanese, we'll see what we can see with each one of them, but as we go in, we're expecting to spend no more than 10 minutes with each one. As you can imagine, it's near impossible to play a text-heavy card game in a language that you can't read. This is mostly just to check them off for the quest. With that out of the way, let's start off with Duel Masters 2, Invincible Advance. The game gives us a tutorial on how to play, something we were sorely lacking last time, and even without understanding most of it, it would have helped a lot just to see this. And then we get thrown into the world and... I'm not gonna lie to you, we have no fucking idea how to even start this. When we go to the arena, the guy is clearly saying something about 300 DP, but whether we choose yes or no to his thing, he refuses to let us play. We menued around everything else and nothing seems to be where we actually play the game. The game's menus alone are so text-heavy we can't actually get to the part where we play Duel Masters. So that's a bust. That said, the little we see of the game certainly seems to have more character than the previous one, which already had some character. And the card art has been very nicely brought to the GBA. To follow up on Duel Masters 2, Atlas released Duel Masters 2, again! But this time it's the Kirifida Shobu version. Oh, that's the main character's name, the black-haired boy. Looked like we were playing as the blonde boy last time, so I guess we're Shobu this time? Let's see what we can do. And the answer is nothing. This time a weird elf gremlin guy talks to us, but again, no idea what he's saying and he won't let us play the game. All the rest of the menus look the same, so again, we're stuck. Can we do anything in Duel Masters 3? Probably not, but we gotta try. Wow though, this game looks great. It's an anime-style title card, gotta love that. There's a whole town map you can walk around now. Check out this kid's big fucking smile. Wait, is he challenging us to a duel? Holy shit, we're playing Duel Masters! And surprise of surprises, we found that Duel Masters is actually kinda fun. Knowing what we're doing this time, we found ourselves really enjoying it. Now that we're actually playing the game for once, here's the basics of Duel Masters. You put cards from your hand into a discard area, and then you can later tap those cards to cast spells or summon monsters. It's kinda like what we understand Magic the Gathering is like. Then those monsters attack your opponent's shield cards until you can attack the opponent themselves, winning the game. It's not a bunch of life points, 5 cards and then yourself. It's very easy to keep track of how you're doing and it's pretty fast paced. Again, to our surprise, we actually won both of our matches and even had a 10th-second match. While we're missing the intricacies of the game, it's still very playable and pretty fun. But without those intricacies, we're still confused on half of what's going on. We played one card that could fight immediately, but then burned up back into our hand at the end of the turn. Things happen like the S trigger or W breaker that are very fun to yell and get excited about, but we also have no idea why these things are happening. When it would eventually come to putting new cards in our deck, we'd be at an obvious disadvantage with regards to the abilities that these cards have. Even though that's holding us back, it's clear this is the best of the Japanese Duel Masters games. It's very expressive, with hilarious losing sprites and some fun different attack animations. The music loop is repetitive, but dang, it's rockin'. You gotta figure most people would play Sound Off anyways. Instead of the go-to-arena to battle structure that's always pretty boring, you walk around and find characters, and then there's dialogue between them. Several chapters? There could even be a story playing out? But again, the biggest problem here is that this is in Japanese. If it were in English, we might put more time into it, but there's only so much we can really do here without that. If you're interested though, and you can read Japanese, we definitely recommend this game. It's easy to pick up and seems like a very solid TCG. We'll give what we played of Duel Masters 3 a 4 for adaptation and a 4 for fun. Hope you enjoyed this look at some Duel Masters. These Japanese game videos might have some of you looking to help us out, but we like just seeing what we can do as a non-speaker. It's a little shorter than normal, but we're still having a lot of fun. Next time in the hole we'll have more Jedi, so watch out for that. Thank you all for watching, and bye everybody!